everybody, we are here today again with David Bong, and from the upper limb today we will move towards the lower limb, and what we want to study is just the hamstrings.
Right.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about the hamstring examination. It's a very important exam, it has some excellent anatomic landmarks, and it's a very systematic exam. I think you'll enjoy it.
Me too. Ciao.
Now we're going to look at the posterior thigh and the hamstring. And this is very important for you sports medicine doctors, but it's also important in all the musculoskeletal specialties. So what we want to do is first of all look at the surface anatomy. And so here we have the gluteal muscles, and here we have the fold. And this is where we're going to start our imaging. We're going to put the probe right here at the gluteal fold. Now, we need to change our adjustments. These are not superficial structures. There's a lot of beam attenuation. So we need to lower our frequency. Right now our frequency is at 12, so we want to lower it to 10 or maybe even less. And we want to make sure we have enough depth. We're at about 5 centimeters to include our structures. And then the gain we don't need to change. And the focus, we're going to put it a little deeper because these are deep structures. Now, what we're looking for is we're looking for some tendons. And the first tendon is called the common tendon. It's the common tendon shared by the two of the three muscles. And the three muscles are biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. But at this point, we don't see semimembranosus. We just see its tendon. So if you'll just follow the arrow here, you can see that rocking the probe, we can see some structure lighting up and then going away using anisotropy to localize these structures. And right here is a structure, a linear structure, almost vertical, that has a lot of anisotropy to it. Also, we see a large rounded structure that also changes its brilliance with my changing or rocking or toggling the probe. And finally, we see a third structure, this kind of enlargement, this bulb-like enlargement. And this also represents possibly another tendon. So these are our three structures. These are our landmarks to start this examination. The first structure, this vertical structure, is the common tendon between this big muscle to the right here, and this would be semitendinosus, and then this other muscle to the left or to the outside, and this is biceps femoris. They share this tendon, so this is called the common tendon. From here, we're also going to localize this other tendon. It's more to the right, and it's actually a very interesting tendon. It's a long sheet-like tendon with this enlargement. And this is the tendon of our third muscle, which we don't see yet, our semimembranosus. The final structure is this large bulb-like structure at the base of the common tendon, and this is the sciatic nerve. So these three structures kind of form, if you're very imaginative, a star with three parts, and kind of like the Mercedes-Benz emblem. So here's one part of the star, here's the other part of the star, and here's the other part of the star. So we use these three structures to localize and begin our examination of the hamstring. So now that we've identified this Mercedes-Benz sign, now we can follow the individual structures. So first of all, what I want to make a comment, and that is the common tendon between our medial semitendinosus and our lateral biceps femoris is very important clinically, because this is the area where we most frequently see injuries. So the common tendon is very important to examine very well. So from here, we're going to do a systematic examination of the hamstrings. We're going to go medially and focus on the semitendinosus muscle. And the tendon, as you can see here, this long linear tendon of semimembranosus. See maybe here, and with anisotropy and the rocking of the probe, you can see it kind of light up. And so we're using our anisotropy. It's our friend because it helps us to identify it. So we're going to place the probe right over semitendinosus. And I want you to watch something. Look right up here in the outer part of semitendinosus. As we go distally, I don't know if you see this V-shaped bright line moving across the semitendinosus as I go distally. This is an aponeurosis that divides the semitendinosus muscle into two distinct bellies. And this is called the raphe, and it's very helpful to localize this particular muscle. So as I go down and as I go up, you can see this white line which divides the muscle into two parts moving across the screen. Now, so that helps us to identify the semitendinosus. Now, the other structure here is, remember our tendon here of semimembranosus, this bright line with anisotropy. And I want you to look right outside the semitendinosus, and as I go down, maybe you can start to see this muscle getting larger and larger and larger as semitendinosus here gets smaller and smaller. This is the semimembranosus muscle as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as we go distal. So that's our first step in doing the hamstring exam. Now, our second step is to go back to our reference point with our three structures, the common tendon, the sciatic nerve, and semimembranosus. Now we're going to shift the probe laterally over this muscle, the biceps femoris. Now, one other thing I like to do is also look for this structure here, this bony acoustic landmark of the femur, right here, quite deep. And so what we're going to do now is follow biceps femoris distally, and we're going to pay attention here to this bump on the posterior femur called the linea aspera. Now watch what happens in this zone right here. As we go distally, pretty subtle, we're going to see a new muscle here, this little attached to this linea aspera. And this is the short head of the biceps femoris. We've been looking at the long head, and now we see the short head. Now this is important clinically because you can get lesions between this structure that joins the two tendons. So that's our second step. Now we're going to go back again to our reference point here, find our structures, rocking the probe. So we see the sciatic nerve, the common tendon, and our tendinous semimembranosus. And now we're going to follow the common tendon and the sciatic nerve up to their origin at the ischial tuberosity. Now as we go up, we're going to press pretty hard, but we're going to keep rocking so we can see using the anisotropy to maintain our structures until we get up to this point right here. And here you can see the bony acoustic landmark of the ischial tuberosity and then the origin of our three tendons.